Yes, people, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Touchlinefacts, and today we've got some transfer bombers which I wanted to talk about because it actually does kind of not involve my club. It doesn't really involve my club. You could say it involves my club in a certain aspect, but I want to talk about it because it's a half involved my club, and it is a talking point with my fan base because obviously a lot of clubs now are starting to get deals over the line like that. So I wanted to talk on it as well. Obviously, everyone knows Man United are moving slower than an old woman with a walking stick crossing a fucking zebra crossing. So we are moving a bit slow, and every other club seems to be getting their business done like that. And in this regard, Tottenham Hotspur have got 2 deals done in literally a day. Yeah, they've got 2 here we goes in the same day. Mohamed Kudus and Morgan Gibbs-White, which is out of nowhere, by the way. They literally linked with him a few hours ago, and then bang, here we go. I woke up to bang, here we go. And they're also moving in. They put a bid in for Yoane Wissa, fresh offer. I didn't know Wissa was 28. I thought it was like 25, 26. But yeah, Vissa's 28. Bid fall under 25 million. So we're going to get straight into it. Now, listen, let me show you guys it all first, as I'm sure you've already seen. Look, Morgan Gibbs-White to Tottenham. Here we go. Spurs triggered the £60 million release clause after direct contact with Forest today. Mohamed Kudus will complete his medical at Tottenham today. Plan confirmed. Spurs and West Ham have now also started changing documents after the deal agreed. Sorry, my fucking throat was banging there. £55 million will be paid in 3 years. Exclusive. Nottingham Forest renewed pursuit of Yoane Wissa. Fresh offer made to Brentford for 28-year-old Congo striker. Bid falls under 25 million. Nottingham Forest waiting prepared to pay in January window, considerably lower than Brentford valuation in excess of 50 million. So they're actually halfway thingy. Let's get into it. Let's start off with Wissa, because I've seen a lot of people say that, oh, and reading that, by the way, is hilarious because I've seen some people sit there and say, oh, look, if Brentford will not sell Mbeumo and or Brentford don't want to sell Mbeumo and Wissa in the same window. Well, it doesn't matter if they don't want to, because they might have to, because if both players want to leave and Tottenham and Man United both offer the money that's the asking price and get their deals done and both agree personal terms and both the players say we want to leave, they end up having to sell them because that's how it works. But that one is very interesting because people were kind of in my chat saying Spurs are going to get Wissa and you lot are not going to have to get Mbeumo because they're not going to sell, which I already said is a load of nonsense. And then their first bid is half of what Brentford wants. So Brentford want 50 million or in excess of 50 million, whatever the fuck that means. And they've offered 25 million. I told them, I literally said it on my stream. I said, I guarantee you, yeah, they will not get that. Just because they're interested in Wissa does not mean they're going to get that deal done like that. They're gonna haggle and struggle with that deal, just like how we are being Mbeumo deal. Brentford are being difficult to deal with. I told people that. I told people in my stream. I said, you watch. They might be interested in. They might drop a bid like we did. We dropped a bid a month ago, pretty much. We agreed personal terms over a month ago, pretty much. And we still haven't got the deal done. Why? Because Brentford are struggling. They want to get the extra 5, 10, 15, 20 million out of you. They want their money. And I'm telling you now, this is going to be another transfer saga. Unless Spurs may just walk away because Vissa's not. You know, he's probably not that higher up on the want list as Man United have in Mbeumo. But Spurs may just walk away or not. I don't know. Maybe they will. I don't know. But yeah, 25 million and they want 50 million. I can't see Spurs going above 40 million for him. I think 40 million plus maybe max 40 million max plus maybe 5 million add-ons. That's about it. You watch, yeah. It's going to be hilarious to see it unfold. I promise you now, that deal ain't getting done. For the foreseeable future, they're not getting, unless Brentford can considerably lower their asking price, they are not getting that done deal within the next 2 or 3 weeks. Just like how Man United have struggled to deal with Brentford. Brentford are trying to be like Brighton, because they both start with BR, and they've both got fucking animals in their badge. They seem to think they're the same club. No, Brentford are not Brighton. They're both annoying to deal with. I hope Brentford get relegated. I do hope Spurs actually get Wissa, and Man United will obviously, hopefully, I hope they get Mbeumo. And then next season they're going to have no Thomas Frank, no Norgard, no Wissa, no Mbeumo, with that terrible home kit they've got as well, which is absolutely dreadful. And I hope they get relegated. And Spurs fans, you're going to realise how difficult they are to actually deal with. Trust me. And then next one, Morgan Gibbs-White. Here we go. Spurs triggered a £60 million release clause after direct contact with Forest today. Well, there it is then. There it is then. Nottingham Forest didn't want to sell Morgan Gibbs-White. They didn't want to sell him. They didn't want to sell him. The same way they didn't want to sell Langer. But Spurs paid the release clause for Morgan Gibbs-White. That's why the deal got done so quickly. So when Man United fans are comparing this to Mbeumo deal, yeah, or comparing it to whatever, that's like how Cunha, we got Cunha done like that. Why? Because he had a release clause. We knew the asking price, which is the release clause. You can't go to a football club and say, want a player X, for example, and then say, yeah, we're going to offer you less than a release clause. It's not going to work. You either pay the release clause or you pay above the release clause so you can pay off installments. Well, they've just paid the release clause, £60 million. Is he worth that? I actually think he's a decent player, Morgan Gibbs-White. I've always thought he's a decent player. I didn't think he was... when City were interested in him, I didn't get it. I didn't get... I mean, his physicality and his P&P in the midfield is a very good attribute to have. He's very, very fast and strong in the midfield, can very much carry a ball, drop at the shoulder, turn and run, and he's very powerful with it. But he doesn't suit City. Like City, they need that the other way. But when it goes forward, they don't really need that. They don't really need that explosiveness, really, because City are much more, against teams playing U-shaped football, parking the bus, and teams are playing behind the bus, and they're just passing, 1-2, 1-2, bops off you, bops off me, bops off you, bops off me, etc., etc. And I feel like he didn't suit City. Spurs, however, I want to talk about it because obviously Kudus as well. Brennan Johnson is someone that's gassed up by Spurs fans, especially Jules. He gasses him up. Like, you'd think he's the next Leo Messi. And I actually like Brennan Johnson when he was at Forest, but they gassed him up. Kulusevski, I think, is a very good player. Kulusevski's a good player. I know he's got injury problems, a very good player. Solanke, I already told him last summer wasn't worth £60 million. He had one decent season, and I already said I always thought he was bang average. He's in today's game, he's better because of how shit the strikers are. That's exactly what I think I said. I said he looks better now because of how shit strikers are. He's probably top 10 in the Premier League. And even then, I wouldn't even say that he's top 10 anymore, but he was probably top 10 at the time. They paid £60 million for him, but they got Solanke. Literally in the summer, they replaced him. They're trying to replace him with Wissa. Left wing, they've got obviously Son's on his way out, but I think he's staying for another year. Is Timo Werner still there, or was that a loan? Was that another loan? I don't know. Maybe Timo Werner is still there. They definitely obviously needed more attack, but like they needed one or two more attacking options. They're trying to get 3 attackers in. They've also got Kudus. Gibbs-White maybe can play in the midfield. Well, he can play in the midfield. Maybe he can play in the 8 or whatever as well. But I still think, obviously, the system was why they considered loads of goals at Spurs. But they do need defenders. Like, they need another centre back, especially if Romero leaves. They probably need 2 more centre backs. They probably needed. I think they need a right back. And I do rate Porro, but I think he's. Honestly, Spurs. Listen. Honestly, I'm not even taking a piss. Honestly, what would be a brilliant deal is if we paid Spurs, let's say 15 million plus Diogo Dalot for Pedro Porro. I think that'd be a brilliant deal. Diogo Dalot would cook at Spurs in the back 4. He'd cook at Spurs. Yeah. Under Thomas Frank, and Porro would be brilliant for us. Whereas Porro isn't as great for them because he's defensively not great. He loves bombing forward. He loves shooting, playing hero ball. Sometimes just does stupid things. His position is not great. It's like Spurs, as much as they did need a few attackers. You know what I'm saying? They did, for me, I would say that. And they just signed Tell as well. So they got Tell done. So they have got another left winger. They got Tell and Son on the left, potentially Werner as well. I'm pretty sure. Brennan Johnson on the right, Kulusevski on the right. Now they got Kudus on the right. In the 10, they got Kulusevski, Madison's another one, exactly, and Gibbs-White. They've already got quite a stacked attack, which obviously is a good thing to have. I think now they've got those 2 signs over the line, it massively upgrades their attack. But you can only play 3 or 4. You can only play 4 of those players at the same time, pretty much. Maybe 5 if you could put Gibbs-White in the 8. Yeah. Now let's go. Well, listen. Let's go back. Let's go down to the midfield. The midfield and the DMs and the centre backs. Basuma's not good. Spurs fans always say that he's not good, and he's got a massive bozo moment. And he plays like he's on loans, and he is actually on loans. Their right back, as I say, I can't defend, and their 2 centre backs are decent, but they're both injury prone, and one of them wants to leave. So to me, it's like you're spending all this money. And we know Daniel Levy's tight as fuck. Yeah, he's spending money, but he's tight as fuck. Can you see him spend another 100 million on a defender, on 2 defenders, on 2 or 3 defenders? I don't think maybe you need 100 million. Maybe you need another 50 million on a Mark Gay if you can. I know he rejected him in January if they could get him, or just someone of that level, a good defender, good centre back, and then a right back. You could probably get that for about 70 million. Will they do it? I don't know. But yeah, all in all, this is decent business. The Spurs have got actual very stacked attack. And attack that was actually always scoring goals. One thing Spurs were actually good for. I do think they were always good at scoring goals under Ange. The cutbacks to Brennan Johnson, Porro bombing forward. Solanke got a few goals. Kulusevski was scoring. Son didn't have a great prolific season last year. Tell wasn't that great actually going forward as well. But they still had quite a bit of goals in them. You know what I'm saying? Madison would score. I think Madison scored like 10 league goals last season. So they have got decent attack. They've always had that. But yeah, this is still decent business. Now they've got what stats to say. Madison and Gibbs-White and Kulusevski that can play in the 10. and Kudus can play in the 10 as well. Kudus, Brennan Johnson, and Kulusevski on the right. On the left, Son and Tel, I still think that needs to be improved. And then maybe Werner. And then if they do get Wissa, I don't think they will. I'd say Vissa's going to drag for 2 weeks. You watch Spurs, strap your seatbelts in, mate. Trust me, strap your seatbelt in, because that deal is going to take about at least 2 or 3 weeks to get done. If it does get done in the end anyways. They'll have Wissa and Solanke. They still need, for me, another centre-back and a right-back. But yeah, all in all, Man United fans and other fans are sitting there trying to mock Manchester United for this is like... I'm like, you need to just remember, like, well, firstly, Mohamed Kudus. I'll talk about it. Let me just talk about it. Brian Mbeumo is taking long, yes. Mohamed Kudus, the reason why it hasn't took so long is because West Ham want to sell this player, and Tottenham have overpaid. Tottenham have overpaid for Mohamed Kudus. Tottenham have overpaid for Mohamed Kudus. Man United are trying to not overpay for Brian Mbeumo, and Brian Mbeumo may want to leave, but Brentford don't want to sell him. Brentford will happily keep him if they can, because they know he'll keep him in the Premier League. Yeah, that's the difference. And Gibbs-White has got a release clause. And Wissa, they've offered 25 million lower than Brentford. If they get Wissa done within the next 3 days, I'll hear it go, fucking hell, fair dues. They just bow down to Brentford's asking price. Fair dues. Even though I don't think Vissa's worth it. Actually, Vissa's a good player. I actually like Wissa. I actually used to think he was better than Tony. I do actually quite like Wissa. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's different. It's different levels of business. Kudus, as I say, Tottenham have overpaid for Kudus, and Tottenham have overpaid for Kudus, and West Ham want to get rid of him. So West Ham offered him to, I think they offered him to us, but they definitely offered him to Chelsea as well. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We are doing slow. Yes, we are moving slow. We are moving slow 100%, but let's not compare it to other people's business, because other people's business is different to ours. Anyways, I'm out, people. Hit the sub button, hit the like button, all that good jazz. I'm out. Peace. What's going on with the thing, bro?